Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Dawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. Of course, things in detail will follow as well. First of all, we do talk about Pakistan's tour to Ireland. Pakistan have already named a squad for this as well. Now the team's going to be traveling. This becomes a very important tour as well. When you talk about the remainder of Pakistan's matches, they become very, very important. So we talk about the tour to Ireland in detail, the combinations as well. We've heard that Mohammad Amir is facing a visa delay. Otherwise, the rest of the team is en route as well. So we'll talk about that in detail and some of the combinations that Pakistan would want to try as well. The skipper Babar Azam also had a press conference. He had a lot to say in that as well. He talked about adapting to certain changes as well, to certain conditions. But I think the focus of attention was that, in any given circumstance, you have to adjust to the team's plans. And I think this was something that he was speaking for himself as well and for the team. So we'll talk about that in detail. Then, of course, we move on to women's cricket. Women's cricket team is also on its tour to England. We'll talk about that in detail as well. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to the women team in particular. So we'll focus on their performances. Recently, it's not been that much of a good omen on the winning side. They were up against West Indies, but now they look to change their fortunes again. So we'll talk about that. Then we move on to hockey, where the Aslan Shah Hockey Cup 2024 continues. The Pakistan hockey team is on a roll. They've been performing exceptionally well. So we'll talk about hockey in detail as well and give you all the results, the updates, and the matches to come as well. So far, it's been a terrific performance, and I think there's a lot to be said about this team. They look to be playing with a new energy now. So we'll talk about that as well. Then we move on to Pakistan's T20 World Cup 2024 kit that has all eyes there as well. Of course, the World Cup starts from the 1st of June in the USA and the West Indies. But all eyes, as always, are going to be on whatever jersey Pakistan is going to be wearing. It's always been, I think, a fan interest as well. There's always been competitions on the sidelines to design the best jersey. But this time, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. So we'll look at that as well. Then we move on to some terrific news for Pakistan. Naila Kiani, our mountaineer, we'll talk about that. But before that, I just want to give you an update about the Pakistan One Day Cup as well. The domestic One Day Cup continues. We'll give you the updates and the results there as well. And then, of course, we move on. Please excuse me, like I said, that we've got terrific news. When you talk about mountaineering in Pakistan, already the terrain is there. We talk about Pakistan being blessed with all kinds of mountainous terrains. But when you talk about Pakistan's mountaineers, they're a step apart as well. And especially when we talk about Naila Kiani, she's become the first Pakistani woman, the first woman ever to scale more than 11 8,000 meter peaks. And this is a terrific record for Pakistan. Congratulations to Naila and everybody involved in this entire venture as well. And for those of us who've had the chance to interact with her or meet her, we know that she has a vision and she is resilient. And there is nothing that can bring her down. And she's been exceptional in her career so far. She's also, I think, a role model for many youngsters. So congratulations to her on this great achievement as well. So like I said, we continue things in detail. First of all, the focus is Pakistan's tour to Ireland, and we talk about that in detail. Introducing our guests, first of all, in studios, we've been joined by sports expert Rizwan Haider. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Assalamu alaikum, Ahmed. Nice to be here.
Great to have you on the show. We've also been joined by sports expert Hassan Hussain Qureshi. Assalamu alaikum, Hassan. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum, Ahmed. Always wonderful to be here.
Thank you for joining us as well. Now, Rizwan, a lot of focus is on this series because, there are certain parameters that we need to focus on right before the World Cup. We're still yet to announce a T20 World Cup squad. So, gives us another opportunity to explore certain players. There have been certain changes, particularly with a couple of names. We see Usama Mir has been left out. We do see Azam Khan making a comeback as well. Salman Ali Agha has been added to the side. How do you see this overall, all the developments?
I think Salman Ali Agha is a good addition. So is Irfan Khan Niazi, because we've always been, for the last one and a half year, or the last 2 years since the last T20 World Cup, we've been lacking in the middle order. I'm surprised at the Osama Mir not being selected. I'm also shocked at the selection of Azam Khan. We've got too many wicketkeeper batters anyway, and with his fitness levels, I'm surprised that he's in the team. But then again, the team has been decided. It's a matter of playing a few games versus Ireland and then England, and it gives you a bit of time to make the last-minute tweaks that you can make to make sure that a team is in good fighting spirit. You can try out the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th players, give them a run out, give them a go and see if somebody gets in form. But the main issue with the World Cup is that the series in England and Australia, in England and Ireland, will assist you in finalizing the combination, but the conditions will be totally different to what they're going to face in the United States.
Interestingly, I think a lot of talk has been there about those conditions as well, and what best combinations can Pakistan go with. But Hassan, let's be very, very honest at this stage. I think for the past 2 years, there's been a lot of uncertainty and instability, not only in the management, but obviously it's a trickle-down effect to the team as well. For the very first time on the management side of it, things seem to be settling down at Pakistan Cricket Board. And now, of course, obviously we see that transcend into the team as well, where Babar and company have got to be sure of their plans. How do you see the overall developments and obviously this tour to Ireland?
I think, Emma-ji, the most important thing, like you said, is stability is there now. Obviously, this tour represents a great opportunity, but you want to keep the experimentation to a minimal now. You know, you want to give as many opportunities to the guys you're taking in. A lot of questions are being asked, whether it's about Saim, whether it's about the opening partnership. Where do you see Usman and how do you use that? So I think Pakistan need to now focus on going ahead with the team they believe can play their best cricket. There is a great amount of stability. There's clarity with regards to the coaching staff and everything. The captain is back, and he's definitely got the backing as well. So I think now a lot of the Pakistan's focus should turn towards taking each game every day as an opportunity to play good cricket, the kind of cricket they want to play. And if they can build up a good momentum going towards the World Cup, I think they'll be happy with that. Yes, important that you try as many of the players that are there so you have an idea of who can get into form and who can have an impact. But a very good point with Rizwan regarding conditions. Going to be very different in England and Ireland. So I think right now it's just a case of getting the players out there, getting them to play their best cricket. And if they can do that, then you go into the World Cup with a lot of confidence.
Well, that confidence is certainly something that is very, very necessary. And I think that's already something that Pakistan has enjoyed over the years. But unfortunately, due to certain changes, and like we discussed, it's because of certain instability, things were on the other end as well. So I think in detail, we need to discuss not only the best combinations, but how the captain, the management are going to instill that confidence into the players as well, because obviously it's a World Cup year, just a month away now, the ICC T20 World Cup, and Pakistan is always tipped to be one of the favorites in T20 World Cups as well, or any ICC tournament for that fact. So I think a good opportunity to explore certain combinations. Also joining us now on Sports Extra is cricket commentator and cricket expert Kashif Shabir. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, all well, thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Kashif, tour to Ireland becomes very important. Like I said that, we have a couple of games remaining now right before the World Cup, 2 tours to be particular.
Yeah.
How do you see the squad that has been announced, the way things have been going about and all the developments in the Pakistan team?
I think the squad is all the talent that is available with Pakistan, so it is going to be a very difficult task for the captain plus for the management, for the selection to find the best 11 available for the World Cup. Unfortunately, we were not prepared for the World Cup. That is the reason why still we are not 100% confirmed about the team. We are still confused as to which is going to be the squad for the Pakistan. So that is a difficult task. Secondly, all depends on this tour. Let's see who is going to perform well and what is going to be the combination. Our main task is to find the best opening partnership. Who is going to open for Pakistan? Because remember, in T20, the first 6 overs are very critical, very crucial, because that can set the pace for any team. So it is very important for Pakistan to find the best combination for the openers. Once that is settled, I'm sure that the rest can work out for Pakistan. Then the second important task of Pakistan is to find the bowling combination, because all our bowlers are not fit, 100% fit. What to talk about Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah, Haris Rauf, all these bowlers, they are not 100% fit. The only bowler which is fit is Mohammad Amir. The only thing that he has is the experience which is going to carry for the World Cup. So his experience is going to be very crucial for Pakistan. So let's see what is going to be the combination. And then the spinners. We do not have the regular spinner available for Pakistan. All are part-timers. I would call Shadab Khan also as a part-timer. Usama Mir was a genuine leg spinner for Pakistan, but he is not included in the side for Ireland and England. Let's see if he's going to be available for the World Cup or not. So everything, I think, is in a position where nothing can be said in particular that what is going to be the squad for Pakistan. So we will still have to wait for these 2 tours, And once these tours are finalized, then we can talk about the squad for the World Cup.
Certainly, but certain things, Rizwan, have got their eyes, I think, on them. Particularly certain changes. Pakistani media is always a buzz regarding the Pakistan cricket team. First of all, the exclusion of Usama Mir. How do you see this development?
That's the very first thing that I mentioned, and then Kashif has also come back to it because he's the only one who's actually a genuine spinner. He's the one who gives the ball a bit of air. He spins it properly. Unlike Abrar, who doesn't spin it that much. Saim Ayub is temporary, is a part-time spinner, so is Iftikhar. Similarly, Shadab doesn't give the ball that much of a tweak or doesn't give the ball that much air. So, and on West Indian wickets, basically, you're just going to play your first couple of 5 games in the United States. And out of that, even one game is important, that is the one against India. After that, it's going to be West Indian conditions. And there the the wickets are slow, the ball comes onto the bat very, very slowly. So spinners are going to be very effective, and we need a spinner who can actually spin the ball, not just who bowls a bit of, a bit slow. So I think I'm surprised that he hasn't been made. If it's because of the conditions, then it's fine. But then the clarity should be there that he should keep training and he should be part of the World Cup squad, I think.
Interesting, but then a lot of people have this hue and talk about giving the current performers an opportunity as well. And recently we've just seen that example with South Africa, who actually did not go for Rassie van der Dussen, but instead went for somebody who was at present performing in their domestic T20 tournaments as well. Hassan, how would you comment on Usama Mir's exclusion? Abrar is the one that is of course included into the side as well. But then when you see Pakistan's automatic playing 11, then obviously one's mind does say that Shadab and Imad are going to be the 2 particular spinners in the team.
I think that certainly seems to be the way they want to go. I would agree with Rizwan that you need someone like Usama who's a genuine wicket taker. I think it's also very unfair that you have someone who's taking 24 wickets in PSL being the leading wicket taker. And we're talking about a T20 World Cup. And, his last T20 international he played for Pakistan, bowled very important spell, bowled very well against New Zealand, got Pakistan back into the game. I'm a big fan of Abrar's. I think he's got a lot of potential. Just like I don't think anyone is ahead of Abrar when it comes to red ball cricket, I think it's a bit unfair to leave Usama out in white ball cricket, particularly T20 cricket, given his recent form. He has CPL experience as well. He's done really well in the PSL. He's done really well in the T20 Blast, the 100. He is a better all-round player with regards to what he can bring with the bat and as a fielder. But if you're just taking Abrar along and you're going to get to, like Kashif Bhai said, with the part-timers, that is a strategy you can take, but I don't believe that is the correct strategy because you always need a wicket-taking option in conditions like the West Indies where spin is so prevalent. And I think it's very unfair on Usama, and I do believe that he should have been given an opportunity to showcase what he can do.
Well, Kashif, like I said, that the disappointing factor about it is that then you're sending a message across your domestic structure that even if you're performing at the current level, our prime criteria for selection often becomes the PSL. And if you're the leading wicket taker, even if you're not in our plans, you're not in our plans.
No, but now, Ahmed, the criteria is not the domestic system. Criteria is not PSL because this is very obvious, very evident. We have seen in the case of Muhammad Ali, he has been the pick of the bowlers as far as the pace bowlers are concerned, but he is nowhere. He is not in our plan for the World Cup. Same is the case with Usama Mir. So what message are we giving to the young boys? What are we telling them? That is the PSL important? Is domestic system important or not? I would say no, not at all. It is all about the selectors. Whatever the selectors wish, they are going to do that. So we are not sure, the selectors are not sure what is their plan, what is going to be the future of Pakistan. That is the reason why we are where we are at this moment. So we need to change the overall structure of Pakistan cricket team if we really want to improve, because this is no way of moving to the World Cup. The World Cup is the premier tournament which is coming up, and we are not fully equipped, we are not fully ready for this World Cup. I don't know what is the mentality of the selector, what is their criteria, because what I believe is the selectors, they want 11 perfect batters, 11 players who can bowl. So 11 batters, 11 bowlers, this is what the requirement of the selectors is. And if this is the requirement, then we will stand nowhere in the World Cup, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and it's been a while since Kashif has been saying this. I think particularly we've often discussed it on the show that the plan should be plain simple.
Yeah.
Identify your batters, identify your bowlers. Don't get stuck in between, because eventually what it does is that the team then are confused themselves as well. But Rizwan, I think it's not just about the playing 11, it's also something that we're missing upon right now, and that is of course the batting order. We've tried all sorts of combinations, some have worked, some have not, but there is still uncertainty of 1, 2, 3, what's going to happen there, and then of course coming down to 5 and 6, which often happens. And also the talk about, I'll just give you one pointer as well, that whether Shadab should be batting up the order or not.
Right, before I come to the batting order, I just want to address the first class issues that Kashif and Hassan have identified. We don't give respect to our first class system. Why? Because Australian first class cricket is called Sheffield Shield, has been in place for about 80, 90, 100 years. New Zealand's is called Plunket Shield, county cricket in England, and Ranji Trophy in India. We don't have a proper first class cricket. Sometimes we call it Patrons Trophy, sometimes we call it Qaid-e-Azam Trophy, sometimes we call it Rectangular, sometimes Rectangular. So many names that you can give it, because every time the structure changes, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. We haven't had a proper structure in place which has been there for about 15 years or so, and that is the reason our test players don't play first class cricket, our one international players don't play list A cricket. They're willing to go to county cricket and play there, but they're not going to hone their crafts at the home grounds. And until and unless you make it necessary that everybody has to play at least a certain amount of games, maybe 2, maybe 3 a year for a test match cricketer, until we do that, we can't have a team which is dependent on just PSL, like Muhammad Ali has performed, hasn't been given the chance. Hamza Mir has been performing so well, did very well in Australia, and even though he bowled well in the PSL, we've gone back to somebody who's been unfit for the last 6 months. That is Haris Rauf. So that just shows that friendships are more important than Pakistan winning the trophy. When it comes to the batting order, I've been saying time and again, we keep saying that we're giving others a chance, youngsters a chance, but we're not. We haven't had one game where Babar and Rizwan both haven't opened the batting. It's either Babar with somebody with Saim Ayub or Rizwan with Saim Ayub. Usman was only given a chance at number 3 because Rizwan got injured. Otherwise, no way in hell we would have given them a chance. So it's not about giving changes. It's the people who have not been selected now are those like Asif Ali, Haider Ali, who've performed at literally 0 levels of performance. They haven't had anything worth in 10, 15, 20 games at a stretch, and that's the reason they're out.
And we've had no indicators to gauge.
Exactly. Everybody's got a 20 odd in 3 games or 4 games, one quick 20, and you're in the team permanently. Haris Rauf is a prime example. He hasn't performed, he hasn't played. Whenever he has performed, he's been performing badly, poorly, very, very expensive, but he's in the squad for England and Ireland. Similarly, Hassan Ali is way past his prime. Amir and Imad haven't played any first class cricket. They're back in the team just on the basis of 5 or 6 games in PSL. So that just shows that we're not serious for the World Cup. It's just a trophy where we're going to play, we're going to compete, we'll come back after the semis or even before that, and that's good enough for us.
What if we win?
I'll take you out for lunch. All of
Well, that's just on the plus side of it. Miracles do
Keep
happen.
this recording available.
Absolutely, I think we will, but I know a man of his words when I see one, and I think Rizwan is certainly one of those who honors his commitments. But Hassan, the playing 11 is something that needs to be talked upon. The combination of Babar and Rizwan overall, if we talk about them in detail, have played majority of the games and scored more than 5,000 runs, almost more than 50 games as opening pair. Then we tried Saim. That's not been particularly working out for us. Saim is still not the full potential we want to see him in. Rizwan comes down to 3 multiple times. He's said this, I think, in coded words, that obviously when the position changes, performance is affected. You've got Fakhr at 4 probably. Shadab needs to bat up the order. That's what cricket analysts say. What are your thoughts about the playing 11?
I think the biggest issue for us, Emerji, with regards to the playing 11 is that a very important point by Rizwan regarding the fact that Babar and Rizwan have played every game, almost every game. And you've not really known what it's like to go into a game without either of them. You've never had a place where Saim has opened with somebody else. The recent series against New Zealand was an opportunity, perhaps, or at least as Babar is the captain, or before that when the last series was there. The issue with our playing 11 is that we're playing too many openers or people who want to open in the top 4. And as a result of it, then where is the middle order? who is there in the middle order. We have finishers. We don't really have, in terms of our batting at least, a very clear strategy. And I think the biggest issue for us is that we're fixated on positions rather than being fixated on a mindset, which should be that, it should be flexible. Modern T20 cricket is about flexible opportunities. In certain conditions, in certain situations, the Babar Rizwan opening partnership can work for Pakistan, but it has to be dependent on the situations. If one of them cannot drop down, it's not doing him any favors, it's not doing the team any favors. You've got Salman Ali Agha who's shown he can bat at 3. You've got Shadab who's shown he can bat at 3 and 4. But if those guys are going to be shunted down to 6 or 7 to try and accommodate, the first 5 before them, that's not going to help anybody. So I think it requires greater clarity and it requires more commitment to going in with a flexible attitude that we're going to target, be it every over, be it every phase. Like Kashif Bhai said, the first 6 overs are very important. We always seem to be playing catch up. We always seem to be saying, okay, in the first 6 overs, we're happy with 50, where other teams are probably targeting maybe twice that much. So I think for the playing 11, and then very important point again earlier, are we going in with part-time spinners? 3 or 4 guys who get those 8 overs in for us. Are we going in with one proper spinner to bowl 4 overs? So there needs to be greater clarity on that. And I think the clarity needs to come from our mindset and our approach, rather than being fixated about what number someone's batting on or how many overs they're bowling.
Overall, Hassan, we can say that if you look at this team as well, they seem to be gathering that confidence once again. It's been a rough patch for certain of these players again. If you just look at some of the talk that they've made, either individually or as a team as well, there is a lot of, I think, work being done to make sure that they perform as a unit.
Of course, and there's a lot of hope also. You see, hope springs eternal, and I'm really looking forward to us hopefully winning, to have an opportunity to have lunch with all of you in Islamabad would be great. But I think one of the most important things with it is now you go into it, the World Cup, with a clean slate. You go in with an opportunity. There's a lot of redemption at stake, whether it's for Babar, whether it's for Shaheen, whether it's for the fact that we've come close enough without really making that final step. So if these players go in and do well and they build up on that confidence, that is being, the opportunities, like you mentioned, with regards to the stability, are being provided for them, then it would be really wonderful for Pakistan cricket. But long term, you still need to have a more workable approach, one that is flexible and one that is modern in its thinking with regards to the use of data and matchups and how things work. But in the short term, we can always hope, and that's the great thing about Pakistan cricket, is still it gives you hope. It's just, hope springs eternal. You always feel with Pakistan cricket, there is an opportunity, there is a chance. And these guys are good enough on the day to beat anybody and, go on and do well. And that's what we have to hope happens. But long term, we need a more viable plan, one that involves an approach that the players can buy into, rather than the players who may come up with the goods on a particular day.
Certainly. That is the case as well. Hassan Hussain Qureshi, thank you very much for joining us. It was indeed a pleasure having you on the show as well. I think he's made a very particular point, and we do see this in the long run as well. And it's very, very important that we talk about this. But now we take your focus to Pakistan's hockey campaign in the Azlan Shah Hockey Tournament 2024. They've been terrific so far. The results have spoken for themselves as well. Confidence is certainly there, something that we like to see once again into Pakistan as well. So we will be talking about all of this as well. And to discuss this further, we've been joined by former Olympian and Pakistan hockey player Rehan Butt. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, absolutely fine. How are you?
I'm very well, Rehan Bhai. Thank you very much for joining us. Immediately, I think all of us are very excited to see the team performing with a new boost of energy, as I always say. How would you rate this performance so far, and what can you tell us?
Yeah, definitely. The players played very well, and the Pakistan team is very good. And this is a great chance for Pakistan to uplift their team, because this is a good chance to qualify for the final. Because already we won 2 games consecutively back to back, and they have a good chance to qualify for the final.
How would you say, Imran, things have changed as well? Because particularly we want to talk about the fact that technically all of a sudden they've looked very, very, I must say, composed. They're playing like a team. The possession seems to be good. How would you rate the improvements that we've seen on a technical grounds?
Right now there is no improvement, but little bit some touches are in the very good shape, because Roland joined the team recently, and I think so when the Roland work with the team in the future, there must be a few changes. And rotation of the ball is very good against Korea, and shifting against the Koreans is a very good. That's why Pakistan win against Korea comfortably. And if you saw the first game against Malaysia, the Pakistan is struggling in that game. But in the second game, Pakistan win against Korea comfortably because Roland is one of the best coach in the world hockey, and I know him very well. And in the future, the Pakistan team perform well against in the coaching of the Roland tournaments.
Well, he's been there before with the team as well, Imran. So that means that it helps that there's a coach who already understands the dynamics of Pakistan hockey.
Yeah, definitely, because he coached the Pakistan team in the last few years back in 2003, in 2015, 16, and now working with the young players. He knows very well about the nature of the Pakistan hockey, and he understands what kind of players and the skills of the players, and definitely it's work in future.
Certainly, certainly. Imran, now, of course, we will keep on talking about Pakistan's performance in tournaments, but I want our viewers to understand from your words as well that it's not just about investing in the grassroots level, it's also important to win tournaments on the international level because only then you can have that confidence in the entire structure.
Yeah, definitely. It's very important for us, very important for us, because we want to win this tournament, because we are upper hand in this tournament, because we are much better than team against Korea, against Malaysia, and other teams against New Zealand, because we have much experience as compared to these teams. So we have a good chance to win this match, this tournament, because we want to win this tournament. Because if we win this tournament, then we will be the highlight in the international hockey, and the upcoming the Nation Cup is very important for us, because we want to qualify for the Pro League.
Yeah, well, we talk about the major tournaments around the world, particularly talk about the Olympics or even the World Cup. We can go to an extent. As a former player yourself as well, what goes on in the mind of a player when he sees that the team's not qualifying for the biggest hockey tournament in the world? Obviously, the nation does have an effect as well, but for a player particularly who's involved with the team, what kind of mental block then you go through?
Yeah, definitely. As a hockey player, everyone have a dream to qualify for the Olympics games. So we are out right now. We are nowhere in the world hockey. We are just playing an invitational tournament, just like Aslan Shah. We want if we want to play Olympics and the World Cup. So we want to work on the grassroots level, and especially on our basics, because every team are very advanced in the world hockey. So we are as compared to India and as compared to another teams in the world, we are lacking. So we want to work on the grassroots level. We want to work with the coaches, because if we want to qualify for the World Cup and Olympics, so it's very important for us.
Well, certainly it is. Imran, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for your time once again. Right, that was former Olympian and hockey player Imran Butt, who was talking to us here on Sports Extra regarding the terrific performance of Pakistan's hockey team in the Aslan Shah tournament so far. They won 2 out of 2 games. They're performing exceptionally well. They've got all the chance to qualify for the final and win this tournament as well. But like I said, that it's not just about the practice and the investments. You have to win tournaments on the international level, because that's when the confidence will trickle down. And the team has something to play for as well. So it's very important to instill that confidence of coming back to winning ways as well. So I think that is certainly important, but we'll keep you updated with whatever results and score lines progress throughout this tournament as well. Coming back to our focus of cricket as well, we will be moving towards women's cricket, but before that, just to focus on Pakistan's squad. And the captain was very particular today, Babar Azam, in his press conference as well. There were a lot of questions posed regarding the coach and the synergy and the timing of the changes as well, where he responded as well. But before I come to that, Rizwan, I want to ask something very, very particular. Is that we keep on discussing the batting combinations, but we've got to pick our bowlers as well, and especially our fast bowlers. When there is a lot of hue and cry about Haris Rauf returning to the team, looking at the certain choices that we have, probably Pakistan goes with 3 fast bowlers. And if we do go with 3 fast bowlers, the automatic selection, eventually we do see that Amir Shaheen and Naseem Shah probably play. But that is something what I see happening. What do you believe?
It seems that way that Amir will be the first choice along with Shaheen and Naseem Shah. But then again, where are the all-rounders, the ones we were developing, like Amir Jamal? He can be an asset, 2-3 overs and come in the middle 6 or 7 and get some quick runs. we haven't got any of that. We haven't got a fast bowling all-rounder, and if you have that, then you can basically go with 2 fast bowlers and a fast bowling all-rounder, and then you can have your spinners and you know, people like Iftikhar and Saim going in through slipping in 1 or 2 overs. But I probably missed the boat on that. I'm surprised why Hassan Ali's back. I'd rather have gone with Hamza Mir or Muhammad Ali, who's a emerging fast bowler who's done his he's produced the results in first class cricket, and both of them bowled well in the very initial stages of PSL. Muhammad Ali bowled exceptionally well in Multan, but didn't do too well in the other games. But Haris Rauf, without any fitness test, without any his contract was cancelled and then reinstated, and suddenly coming back into the team without proving anything, it just shows that it's all about friendships and stuff. But then again, he has the pace. He's just a bit wayward, and if he has the ability to take quick wickets when required. But God forbid there's an injury, then he's your main.
But it's not just the all-rounders, is it? We're still stuck in that funny patch where Asif, K. Asif often mentions it as the quacks say. The fact is that immediately we see that a person we're investing on seems to be not fit enough for Pakistan's plans. You mentioned some of the all-rounders. Just recently, if you look at the squad, Zaman Khan has also been excluded. That means immediately we figured out that even he's not good enough for Pakistan.
Exactly. That's the funny thing about Pakistan cricket, that every time the World Cup comes, 2 months before that, we suddenly have some sort of a vision where everything changes, and it seems that the changes we do right now will go and win the World Cup. It doesn't work like that. Teams have a regular plan. They keep focusing, they keep seeing which are the players in form, what sort of a player is required for what sort of conditions, and the batting orders are floating for different teams. We are so stuck in our minds that he has to bat at 1, he has to bat at 2 or 3. We haven't got anyone in the middle. It's 2 to 3 years now that Shadab has been performing really well with the bat in PSL at number 3, 4, 5, and even though he's best friends with the team management, he's still not able to get a chance, because we've got 4 or 5 openers playing as middle order. I think we should be very, very clear that people who perform at number 1 or 2 positions, the top 3 should be taken, and they should play 1 and 2, and 1 should be the safety opener, the third backup. Whoever gets the most runs in a certain tournament or the year in T20s, not internationals, should bat at 3. Whoever gets most runs at 4 should bat at 4. Whoever gets most runs at 5 should bat at 5. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 all batting in PSL at number 1 position. So that just doesn't make any sense for me.
Absolutely. Kashif, how would you approach this scenario? First of all, your bowling options. Like I said, that the likely choice seems to be Amir, Shaheen and Naseem Shah. Of course, Haris Rauf doesn't seem to fit in the plans right now. Immediately we've thought that Zaman Khan isn't good enough. We were calling him the answer to our depth overs. But now things seem to be a bit different.
I think it is most likely that Amir is going to be the third pacer that will be included in the team. And if you talk about the squad, if you ask me about the squad, I would put Babar at number 4, Rizwan at number 5, and then I'll start managing the batting order. The first 3 is going to be Usama Mir, Usman and Fakhr Zaman. 3.
Usama Mir.
Usman Khan.
Usman Khan. Usman Khan, and number 4 is going to be Babar Azam, and 5th is going to be Rizwan. But the mentality of the selectors is not very clear, because the inclusion of Salman Agha is not a clarity, because Salman Agha is in PSL is playing at number 3, but you don't have that spot available for Salman Agha. So I think Salman Agha will be included in the side as a spinner. So if he's included in the side as a spinner, so he'll be batting at maybe number 7, after Shadab Khan and after Iftikhar, of course. So you have 4 regular bowlers and 5 regular batsmen, and maybe 2 the all-rounders. That is going to be the squad which is going to play in the World Cup. And talking about the pacers, I think Haris Rauf is very unlikely that he will make it for the World Cup, because he's not 100% fit, and his main forte is his pace. And if he's not 100% fit, he will not be able to bowl at 150 or 148. So if he cannot bowl at that pace, so he will not be included in the side. So the automatic inclusion is going to be Amir. So 3 pacers, 2 spinners, and then the batsmen. I think this is going to be the squad for the World Cup for Pakistan.
But Kashif, right now in the recent New Zealand series as well, I was also observing the fact that even though you've got the right combinations with Imad and Shadab as your prime spinners, the fact was that I saw that Imad was probably underutilized as a bowler. That is also something that Babar needs to manage very well, of where to use Imad Wasim as a spinner.
So, I mean, Ahmed, if Imad is included in the side, so automatic choice of Imad is to share the new ball. So if he's sharing the new ball, then the Pacers, they will not get the opportunity to use that new ball. We all know that Naseem Shah can utilize and the new ball very well, as of Shaheen Shah Afridi, because these two are very good when you talk about the new ball. And if they are using the new ball, then Imad Wasim does not make a position in the team. So that is very disturbing for not only for the captain but also for the selector. So where to put exactly Imad Wasim? If you want Imad Wasim as a batting all-rounder, then he cannot perform at number 7 or number 8, because he is not a good finisher. The good finishers that you have, two good finishers, are Iftikhar and Shadab. So I don't think Imad will be included in the side in the World Cup. But when you talk about the conditions of West Indies, there you need at least 3 spinners available in the squad, along with 3 pacers.
Both of them have mentioned, I think, on and off camera both, that they've come back within a surety of the World Cup, and I think that becomes a very particular case for them to return to Pakistan cricket.
I mean, if they are included in the squad, and if they are given 1 or 2 matches, so the promise is fulfilled. The promise is fulfilled. The task is done. So I don't think he'll be the permanent member of the squad for the World Cup, because you are still not sure. The main problem of Pakistan is the batting order, because Ahmed, now the match is not a 150 or 160 runs. It is beyond 200 now. What we have seen in IPL is something crazy. They are all have gone crazy, scoring 275, 280. So I'm sure that cannot be achieved in West Indies, but at least you need to have a squad that can manage at least 200, 210 runs. And if you want that, then you have to utilize the first 6 overs very well.
At least they have that muscle memory of going to 200. I think that's also very important. But Rizwan, it's an interesting case of the utilization of Imad Wasim as a spinner in your side.
I think Kashif makes a very valid point that Imad is most effective when he opens the bowling. But now you have 3 different choices, and I don't mind him in the side as long as, you know, on certain wickets maybe you need a left-arm spinner to open the bowling, and he'd be the perfect choice. Maybe, you know, I think we're very, very stubborn as a team, as team management of the last 2 years we have seen, that we are stuck in our ways that, you know, we can't have options. He's an opening bowler, he's going to bowl 2 overs. At the start of the inning, and then he's going to bowl, you know, Shaheen is going to bowl the 17th and the 19th, or Haris Rauf at certain times. We have to be more flexible. For T20 World Cup, I think the batting order needs to be flexible. Maybe if you're chasing 160, Rizwan and Babar are the ideal openers, but if you're batting first, then, you know, you need to make sure that Saim gets a go first. Similarly, Usman and Fakhr get a go before Rizwan, before stability is required. 20 over game is very, very different, as Kashif made the point that 250, 260 is being scored. It's not about, you know, securing the time and making sure that you play 20 overs. It's about getting as many runs in your 120 balls that you face, and you need to ensure that in the first 6 overs either you go for 70, 75 runs without losing a wicket, or if you lose a couple of wickets in the first 3 overs, then you get Babar or somebody and then make sure that 150, 160 is achieved. But if you start with Babar and Rizwan and thinking that 160 is what we're going to try and achieve, and at best it's going to be 180, then you've lost the game in your head before the game.
Certainly. I think that does make for that stellar case as well. But now we shift your focus to the current, I think, tournament, which is the Pakistan One Day Cup as well. And to discuss the updates, the action is live right now on PTV Sports HD. 47.3 overs have been bowled, and you can see that Pakistan Television is batting first. They're 279 for 4. Jandad Khan is at the crease, followed by Taimur, and Zishan is on the bowling end as well. Of course, they're facing Wabda, which is an interesting encounter. We've got somebody who happens to be there on site as well, commentating in this game as well, our sports expert, cricket commentator and broadcaster, and also presenter K. Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, Asif. How are you?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. Thank you very much, dear.
Asif, what can you tell us about the game so far? We see that 279 so far by PTV. How's the pitch behaving, and how do you see the competition so far?
Well, I think that after winning the toss, the skipper of Pakistan Television, PTV, Taimur decided to bat first, and so far the decision is very good. And I think that the way Ali Nasir scored a stunning century and Suleiman scored 70, that was both of these two knocks was brilliant, outstanding. And Shamil Hussain got out early, but I think that after that, both of these players, they went for the partnership. So PTV is in a very, very good position. And I'm quite sure that if they could get 305, 310, it won't be easy for the Wabda, though they got a couple of good and experienced players like Ahmed Shehzad and some other good batters. But I think chasing here 310 won't be easy for the Wabda.
Asif, interestingly, both teams are at a very particular position on the points table as well. So this becomes an all-important game for both these teams.
Well, I think that if you talk about that, if PTV wins, does not matter because they're already out of the. They didn't qualify for the semis, same as the Wabda. But this is the best learning process. This is the time that they could learn something, that how to play a one-day game, 50 overs game. And I think that I'm so happy the way the Suleiman and Ali Nasir they played. Ali Nasir played a very tremendous knock, not playing airy-fairy shots. Just he played with the straight bat and he scored a stunning 100. Same as Salman. Look at their strike rate around 100, and their team is in a very good position just because of their good innings.
Well, certainly they are. Asif, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for the updates live from the Pindi Cricket Stadium as well. Action is live on PTV Sports. You can catch it there. Thank you very much, Rizwan and Kashif, for joining us in studios as well. That wraps up Sports Extra. From me and the entire team, it's goodbye for now.